everybody. This is Jeff from Building Aquarium Workshop. Thanks for tuning in and welcome back to the channel. I can't believe this is the fourth video this year. So moving out of my house worked out pretty good. I am now able to do YouTube videos for you and share my knowledge with all of you who want to get into the tropical fish hobby. All right, and today, let's see, we saw the first week was our 14 rimless cube community tank, and then the beta cube, and then last week was the, actually just a few days ago, was our Tanganyika cichlid tank, and now we're on to our 35-gallon Aquarium rimless cube. All right, this was a fun tank. When it comes to moving, you know, it is the biggest pain in the hiney. And then we have had to move reef tanks, any tanks, big tanks, tanks with lots of fish, lots of corals. And as I think I mentioned a few weeks back, I did lose a couple of corals, but I do want to show you the corals that are recovering. There's some corals recovering. I just found a coral today. It's the only hard coral in the whole tank. And it's, I don't know, I think a Montipora, one of the really easy hard corals. I'm not really into hard corals that much. I do soft corals. I love soft corals. Hard corals, you know, they're fine if that's what you want. There's plenty of them out there that you could buy if you have a nice reef store. And so I did trade in some and get a couple of new corals, a couple of zoanthids, which are really, really nice looking. And I did a little bit of maintenance on the tank, of course, before I show you the video. But, okay, so today's episode is going to be about, can you keep 2 clownfish in a tank this size? You know, let's just say 40 gallons and under. So if you remember, we had 2 reef tanks. We had little Nemo, who's still in there, okay? Had him for a couple of years, and we had the tomato clown. In moving, I had them in a like a bucket, you know, and so not a bucket, but that big green tote that I showed last week. I had the salt water in there when I moved them over, and this tank, even though it was set up, I still had to move them into something. And this one wasn't, you know, I needed to put like the live rock and stuff like that in there. So, but anyway, the 2 clownfish, wow. Initially, they kind of were like, they didn't really care for each other that much. They're pretty close in size. And once they got in this tank, the first 2 weeks was probably okay. Percula kind of like to, you know, he's kind of open water in a way. They like to roam around there, you know. But they can, you know, they'll find their spots if they have an anemone or something. You've seen that in prior videos that I had where they'll pick something. The tomato clown would use everything. I mean, he didn't care. When I had the frog spawn, which is sadly one of the corals I lost, he would use the frog spawn, he would use the mushroom anemones, he would even go into the green star polyp. I mean, he wasn't picky at all, like Nemo. And he would stick to those little areas. But eventually what happened is they got very competitive for food. And the tomato clown became just completely intolerant to the Percula clown, and he really started getting vicious. And eventually what happened is he kept the Percula clown, even though I throw in a lot of food a couple times a day, didn't matter. He chased him down into the back of the aquarium, almost into the corner, but into the back anytime, and he would not let him out, especially when he saw me and he knew food was coming, and I tried to make sure food was going around. This lingered on for like 2 weeks, and he got nipped up pretty bad. You're gonna see. Don't worry, I'm gonna get you a close up of the aquarium so you can see it, so you're not just seeing me. But he nipped him up really bad in his tail fin, and he was, you know, he was starting to lose weight. He wasn't looking good, not looking good at all. He really wanted to eat badly, but that fish was just, the tomato clown was just so vicious towards him. Were we talking about compatibility recently? Can we always make things work out? No, we can't always, sadly. I wasn't going to open another saltwater reef aquarium or just a saltwater aquarium. And so I had to take the tomato clown in. I took the tomato clown in, sadly, but he went to a reef store, and hopefully they'll find him a great new owner. I saw him 3 weeks later. He was still at the store because it's a newer store, and that's okay. I'm sure he'll sell. But he was doing well. Okay, so he's in his own aquarium, own little like 10 or 15 gallon aquarium. So I was happy to see that he's got a good temporary home for now. Nemo has recovered. It's probably been like at least 4 or 5 weeks now, and he's recovered really well. His fins have grown back. He's a voracious eater, and he's always out and about, as you're going to see here. Okay, so that was our episode on compatibility. The clownfish, it's tough. Sometimes you can work them in, sometimes you can't. In this case, a tomato clown and a Percula clown, they were probably a couple inches each, did not work out for me. And arranging the aquarium would have made a difference. Of course, getting them in a much bigger aquarium, that could have helped. But I don't have the space for it, and so, I have what I have. And let's look at this. Okay, so let's look at this 35-gallon rimless cube. It's run off of a power head. We have our hang-on skimmer. That's it. Very low maintenance. One thing you're going to love about my channel, if you're new to the channel, is that I do everything at a lower budget. I do everything for the newer hobbyist. My whole goal is to get newer hobbyists into the hobby, and without selling you a bunch of stuff. You watch those people who have channels and their companies, and they're like, hey, this is a handy dandy nifty piece of equipment for your reef tank, and at $299, that this can work for you. And then it was like, but then there's an attachment, and there's more money. And all of a sudden now you're $1,000 into something, and you're, what? They're expensive already as it is. But the question is, do you need all this nifty aquarium stuff? And I can tell you, since I've been a long-term hobbyist, I remember back in the 80s, especially the late 80s, where equipment was king for saltwater tanks. They didn't do very well. Reef tanks did terrible. Saltwater tanks, which is fish only, were fine. But the reef tanks with ozonizers and UV sterilizers and, it was just, and wet-dry filters on top of that, the corals didn't want to grow. It was just this too sterile of an environment, and it had to wait till the 90s, especially the late 90s, when all the natural methods came out, and then corals started flourishing. Things changed quite a bit. So I still have subscribed to that low-tech way of doing things. I could run a saltwater tank, not this reef tank, but I wouldn't want to do it, but I could run it off of an underground filter if I wanted to, a saltwater tank today, and it wouldn't be a big deal. It'd be very low cost too. But I'm into the newer stuff as well, and a power head isn't the most expensive thing. I hang on the skimmer. You could have an internal skimmer, but I want the space in the tank, so I have the hang-on skimmer. And so anyway, okay, enough of me going on and on. We talked about compatibility. Can your clownfish get together? It's a big if, okay? It is a big if, especially in a cube situation where the tank is probably not even 2 feet long, 2 feet by 2 feet, like the 40-gallon was that I had. So be very careful. I would opt for one clown or a pair. If you have a breeder pair of clownfish, that could work out very well for you too. And some clowns aren't, maybe you might be able to get a school of clowns. Like if I had maybe 5 or 6 Percula clowns in this tank, that might work out okay. So it just depends on your situation. And but I can tell you right now, the tomato and the Percula in this situation, probably not going to work out for you. I don't think it was a unique thing here. I wouldn't do it unless you have a much, much bigger aquarium. Okay? All right, let's look at the aquarium and see what we got. All right, so here's our beautiful 35-gallon Aquarium rimless cube. We're looking at it close up. I got my little pointer. Corals are still coming out. I had my hands in there cleaning up doing the algae on the, especially on the glass. You can see, I got my little pointer stick right here. You can see that over there. There's still algae. Can't get to all parts of it, but I got to a lot of it. And okay, so this is if you remember my reef tank, I had 2, and I've compiled them into one. And here's our fish. So you can see there's Nemo there. I got a little blue damsel, and he's hanging out over here is our little blenny. And we did lose a fish. Okay, so the fish that we lost, which he just disappeared. Sadly, he didn't jump out. I looked all around, and the Bang-eye cardinal. So I don't know. He was doing really well the first 2 weeks, and all of a sudden he went missing. And I looked for him, and I couldn't find him. I did not move every rock. There was a lot in here. And so it was pretty sad. I hate losing fish. Yeah, I mean, I had him for quite a while. He was really tiny. I had him for over a year, and he was doing really well, and I don't understand it, what happened to him. So I lost him. I lost the frog spawn, Galaxia right here. He's recovering. that I thought he was actually completely gone, but he wasn't, and he was pretty big, and now he's recovering, but I've got him recovering, which is good. Well, we did trade in like 3 corals, so those I didn't lose, which is a separate piece of Duncan. But these guys right here, the candy cane, were doing, I had a huge colony of them, and, I fragged them. I thought I lost all of them, but they're recovering, as you can see right here. So I'm trying to get those back, and I don't see why not. Some of them are coming out. These are the 2 new zoanthids, these that are pink, and these guys right here that are kind of that real pretty yellow with some orange around them. One surprise for me. I cannot believe I found it. He was underneath this rock. Back there in the middle of the aquarium was this hard coral, the only hard coral I have. So I can't believe he survived somehow with very little light. But he's doing well. So I think he's going to recover. Now I've brought him out to the light, and our lights are not fully up. We're only at like maybe 65 on the whites and the blues. And typically they're going to be, or actually I think I've just put them up to 70. They're going to be a little higher than that, these corals, so you can see, like these pallies or zoanthids back there, they want more light. When you see them stretching toward the light, even these mushrooms, they're like, we want more light. They have this huge colony. Let me take this off so we can look around the tank a little better. And then you can see the mushrooms have taken over. But you can see a couple of the corals in the back. Okay, we can get you a little closer in view as well. So you can see our new corals right there. Right, we've got that zoanthid, that zoanthid. Very, very beautiful. And you can see these candy cane recovering. They all looked like this right here, maybe smaller, and so they're coming back out. So I'm always excited to see corals recover. That was a tiny piece, green star polyp. Our big colony was back here. He's comes out more than that, but right now the mushrooms are putting kind of a hurting on him. I can't wait to get rid of some more of these mushrooms. And then this leather, and he's looking really, really great. See, the green star polyp has gotten to other places. Some of the zoanthid colonies that weren't doing well before are doing really, really well. Like this guy right here. This was only like maybe 5. Now it's a huge colony. This big colony back here, for whatever reason, not doing as well in there. And yes, if you're seeing some green bubble algae, I still have a little bit here and there. I am always continually working on it. And I'm still, as you see, the plastic gridding. I was propagating the mushrooms, so there's quite a bit to clip off and sell. And then we got this massive colony of red mushrooms with the blue mushrooms, which is quite nice. It's the only one I really want to keep for mushrooms. Everything else that you see that's mushrooms could definitely go. You can see that big guy. He's done really, really well. He's just a real hardy coral. Can't think of his name right now. But those of you who are into the reef are like, we know what that is. So here you go. Get to the other side. You get a good look and go, whoa. Look at those! Look at that mushroom colony. And I know a lot of people don't like mushrooms, but believe it or not, this new shop that opened wants mushrooms, so I'm selling them the blue ones. They didn't really have much blue, so I've been trading those guys in. So you never know with corals. So I love all the corals. If I could, I'd have a bigger variety. I'm going to try to shoot for a bigger variety as I trade some of these in. We'll have some different corals. And there you go. So I have the runoff, just this one power head, and the skimmer. You can see the skimmers right there. The skimmer I've had in previous videos. Here's the lighting, right? You've seen these pop blooms, right? I believe it's Red Sea, and I did a separate video on those and the controller box with it. And yeah, so all right, so I just put the lid on. So here's your lid right here. Very cool. So you're saying, hey, I'm tired of all the evaporation. I still get some evaporation because there's still, I don't have the plastic piece on here, which I'm not going to put on. But yeah, I mean, it's great. It does save on evaporation, which is great. But you're still going to have some, so you're still going to constantly be putting in some new RODI water, right? But yeah, it's great. The last 40 rimless cube, I did not have a lid, and the evaporation was off the hook, constantly putting in water. So if you look into these aqueons, so far, so good, knock on wood. I haven't had it leak or anything like that. And, the tank is sat in storage for over a year. And I set it up now. It's been set up for like, 3 months, and doing very, very well. And yeah, I do normally have the water level a little higher up to here. So I will probably fill it up a little because some water has evaporated. These corals right now are in shade, and that's because of this lid. The only downside of this lid, I got to mention it real quick, is this plastic strip, the light hits it and casts a shadow. So that's a negative right there. So sometimes I bring it a little bit forward to make sure, like that, and to make sure that now the light pretty much hits everywhere. And you can use it to your advantage. You know, if there's a little shaded, a coral doesn't like a lot of light, then that little shaded zone is where you'd want to put them, right? You know, so, okay. But anyway, we can talk more about corals and lighting and flow rates and all that in another video. So I just wanted to go ahead and show you my reef tank. And it's a really lovely tank. I really like it. And I'll tell you, I come in here every day and sit down and just watch these guys. And it's great for my blood pressure and just calms me down. And it's just awesome. After a long day of work, you come in here, feed them a little, and just enjoy watching them. And okay, all right, thanks, folks. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. We'd love to get more subscribers for this channel and do a lot more videos for you. Okay, so next week will be a surprise video. I'm not going to mention it, what it'll be about. So we'll see you next week. And thanks for watching. Have a great day, everybody.